Hello everyone. So we are at India-Italy Technology Summit organized by CII today in Delhi. And we have with us Professor Prakash Chandra Ghosh. Mr. Ghosh is the professor in Department of Energy Sciences and Engineering in IIT Bombay. Welcome, Mr. Ghosh. So can you tell our audience a little bit about your areas of expertise?
Yeah, I mainly work on fuel cell and also hydrogen storage and also hydrogen generation from renewable sources, mainly photovoltaics.
Okay. So what are the new trends and things which are coming up in the fuel cell sector segment in India as well as globally?
So if you see globally, the Department of Energy, US, they have set a particular technical goal.
Okay.
And all of us, we are supposed to meet that particular goal.
Hmm.
So if you see globally, people have achieved most of them.
Hmm.
Some of them, they are very much critical, like you
Hmm.
talk about cost. That's one of the critical
Hmm.
component which is not being
Hmm.
yet achieved, and it will take some more times. And people talk why it's not coming is because of some precious metal we are using like platinum.
Okay.
That's the main problem. So that's one of the challenge. Still, it has not come in Indian. It's a global context,
Okay.
but if you take Indian context,
Hmm.
we need to go far off because all those targets are given. Still, lots of other parameters which we could not reach it. So still, technology is being proven, but to use it in the commercial scale, like in car, you need to reduce the cost. You need to reduce the weight. You need to reduce the volume.
Okay.
So those are the critical thing. If you cannot reach, ultimately it will not be coming to the commercial sector. It will be always in the lab. So that's what the challenge in Indian context.
Okay. And how is IIT, as an academia, or trying to, address these challenges?
Yeah. So in IIT Bombay now we have got state of art facilities, and one of the major challenge, if you are taking, like if you are talking about transport sector, you want to use fuel cell, so you have to reduce the volume and weight in addition to the cost when you are talking about commercial aspect. So out of that, cost is actually mainly dependent on the materials that you are using, like platinum.
Mm-hmm.
And you people sometimes talk about that if you do mass production, you might be able to reduce the cost. But I do not believe that,
Okay.
because mass production will require more platinum, which might be actually in otherwise,
Okay.
because this is a cost of materials.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, that mass production of all other accessories, they might be actually coming down, but
Okay.
platinum cost will not be coming on
Okay.
coming down. So that's one of the major challenge in case of cost. But if you talk about volume and weight, it is very much possible. Globally, people have come to, like, there are lots of electric vehicle with fuel cell. They have reached that. So one of the technology, like to reduce the volume or weight, that you use metallic plate, very thin metallic plate. Like if I tell, at present conventionally we take 5 millimeter thick graphite plate, and if you take metallic plate, you can use zero point 0.2 millimeter,
Okay.
which is almost 25 times less. So you will be able to reduce the volume as well as mainly weight in the order of magnitude.
Okay.
So those are the mainly innovation what we are trying to do in IIT Bombay, that we are trying to change the conventional plate to metallic bipolar plate. Another one, because of what sometimes when you are scaling up from the lab scale to commercial scale, the main problem is that you are using hydrogen and oxygen in this particular device, and it starts leaking.
Okay.
And there are lots of people, they ignore the gasket, which is one of the core thing. Otherwise, you'll be losing your fuel.
Correct.
Like hydrogen, it's like a tank is actually leaking, and at the same time, it also poses risk because the safety concern is there.
True.
So sometimes it is not being considered. But in our IIT Bombay, we have also state of now instrument that can make the gasket, which is leak proof. It's not only leak proof, you can make as per the international standard.
I see. So, are you using any cutting edge technologies to ensure that the challenges or maybe a next level of innovation can be derived from these kind of fuel cell within the sector?
Yeah, so we are trying mainly one. If you take the fuel cell, you have different components, as I was telling. So one is that I was telling the bipolar plate, which we are trying to do. We are trying to go away from the graphite, and then we are trying to go for metallic bipolar plate. The other one is that what you can do in terms of membrane, that is actually very expensive as well. And this one, because when you talk about cost, there are two things. One is the cost related to materials. Other one is that cost related to your know-how. So the membrane, what we are talking about, they are not that much expensive compared to the platinum. So, but it's a cost of know-how and which can be brought down if international community is trying to bring it down. But you cannot do with platinum.
Okay.
But there is another catch for platinum. When you are talking about platinum, platinum is used as a catalyst. It's not a fuel that you will be actually depleting. At the end of the lifetime, that platinum what you are using is almost 90% of platinum is available.
Okay.
And very interestingly, if you see this particular platinum is that means after end of the life, only 10% is being used.
Okay.
And if you see the internationally, because you say our Indian context, there are people they try to invest money in gold. Why is it?
Right.
Because they get more return.
True.
So if you take this 90% you have got after 5 years and you do the cost analysis for 5 years, you'll be getting actually return out of it. But why it's not happening? Because that business model is not existing. But I think in future that business model is existing. Then as a consumer or as an end user, you'll be only paying for 10%, and that might be also you'll be getting that money back, or that somebody will be investing for 90%, they'll be getting the money back for you. So then it will not be expensive at all.
In terms of the technologies like let's say IoT, analytics, artificial intelligence, robotics, are these still fancy terms or buzzwords for a fuel sector industry in India, or are they being tried and tested in your sector as well?
No, I think these are things also because sometimes what happens when you want to mainly optimize different components and parameters, then you try to use some of them.
Okay.
But I'm not aware exactly that how it is being used because I don't work in that particular thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Are you also involving or engaging with the startup ecosystem for developing new things and technologies?
Yeah, I would love to do, but as a teacher also I have lots of other responsibilities because we have to teach also, right?
Okay.
So probably in future sometimes, because now I don't have that much of time. Even
Okay.
tomorrow also I will not be able to be here in that validity session because I have to take class.
I see.
So and we give priority to the teaching.
That's wonderful. That's a wonderful profession you are in, and we wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Pleasure talking to you, sir. Bye.